Anyway, let us talk about the statue, because that is one of the big contention in the Morant Bay uprising, you know, and after the erection of that statue by Edna Manley, 1965, exactly 100 years after the Morant Bay uprising, you know.
Right.
That statue is always a contention, you know, people always protesting against the statue because they didn't see the statue as something that represent Paul Bogle. And there was always some conflict. Even me as a young man growing up, you have a image of Paul Bogle that was on a currency that we call $2. There was a $2 currency in Jamaica, and that image of Paul Bogle was on that $2 currency. And when you go to Morant Bay and when you go to the National Hero Circle, you see a different image. So that always caused some conflicts in the minds of children and people in general. How one image upon the $2 looking like this upright man sit up in his little suit, and you know, and then in front of the courthouse, there's another image with looking like a crucifix, you know, and a cutlass pointing down to his reproductive organ. See? So there was always a contention in the minds of the people since 1965. And after 1965, it was kind of cool off, you know, people rebelled against it. And then in 1971, there was another surge of the people saying, boy, we don't want it here. Because people recognize who Edna Manley used, you know, to sculpt that image from. And the people, I was reading something where the farmer, I don't know if he's still, I need to do some research. The farmer head of the National Heritage Trust, his name was Ainsley Enriquez at the time, who claimed that the reason why Edna Manley did that with Bagan is because of the strength of Bagan. But when we analyze who Bagan was, Bagan maybe did look physically strong, but he was of an unsound mind. A lot of people know that, you know, his mind was feeble. So you can't use the image of somebody who aren't in their right mind, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Erect a statue, to me, that is disrespectful, you know, to the caliber of man that Paul Bogle was. You know, so people who live in the community knew who Bagan was very upset about the action of the person who commissioned Edna Manley to do the statue. And they were also upset about Edna Manley, you know, creating that statue as Paul Bogle.
And I read in I think it was a Gleaner article.
Yes.
Where there was a statement that at the time, they didn't have that photograph of Paul Bogle to base the statue off of. Is that true?
Well, they claim, well, this is something now that is very contradictory. And the reason why I'm saying that, because the photograph that they're talking, that photograph surfaced in the 1950s.
Ah, there we go.
See, so to say that you didn't have a photograph while the statue was erected or created in 1960s is something not so right there. So yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Because the photograph that somebody, I believe they're saying it's after a while, people claim that it is a US person, is a US person named Jenkins or something like that, you know what I mean? That is what they say. The image that was under the $2 is that individual. So there's a contention going on with that, and people believe that this is Paul Bogle. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, but after 1971, things kind of quelled down for a while pertaining to the statue. Well, in about 2006, there's a sister here with a radio program called Running Africa every Sunday morning. Her name is Kabu Mahat Heru, let us say her full name, you know. So Kabu went on what you call In Search of Paul Bogle in 2006, you know. And the Bagan issue came up again because they went to Stony Brook, which was the place that Paul Bogle lived, had properties, and you know, it is now an heritage site because the National Heritage Trust here, you know, that fall under the responsibility of the National Heritage Trust. So they went there, and the people start to rebel about the statue. That is 2006. Well, fast forward, there was a lot of things. The energy just get more energized, you know. And there's a lot of things that was happening pertaining to the statue, meaning people start to do a lot of drumming, coming up playing in St. Thomas, you know. Right. So people were talking about it, you know, and people insisted that the statue must be removed because it doesn't represent Paul Bogle.